Ladies and gentlemen of the vinyl community and music appreciators from all around the world, welcome to Vinyl Finds on the Bob Bradley YouTube channel. This is number 116. That's right, folks, number 116. I found some records this week and we're going to get into them right now. If you watched the video from last week, you know that I went to the Spin Record Show. And what that show is more of a collection of collectors, not necessarily record dealers. So, as a result, the prices are a little higher. That said, I did buy one record at the Spin Me Around Record Show. You might have seen me purchase it on the video. Bobby Timmons, Chung King. First of all, in another record show video from a while back, I flipped past this record, and a lot of people in the comments were like, oh my god, I can't believe you didn't get the Bobby Timmons Chung King. And I was like, I can't believe I didn't get the Bobby Timmons Chung King, because I didn't even realize I had flipped past it. So when I saw this one for $20, I went ahead and snatched it up. Firstly, I love this cover. Kind of sexy and sophisticated, simplistic, understated, beauty. Really great cover. I really like this. This is great. It is on the blue Prestige label. Van Gelder in the dead wax. Bit of a noisy pressing. I cleaned it about 4 times, quieted it down a bit. The material on this record is fantastic. It's 3-piece, just Bobby, drums and bass, and of course Bobby is on piano. You might know Bobby Timmons from records like Moanin'. And the songs on this record are fantastic sounding. It's not like Bill Evans' slow and beautiful chord changes. This is very beautiful sounding, but a little more exotic. After dinner music, maybe. Get some drinks going and put on Chung King, and you're going to be happy. The title track is stellar. It is so good. I am super glad that I found this. There's not a lot of copies available right now on Discogs or eBay. It's not an easy record to find. And on top of that, I haven't seen any reissues of this record. So I was looking at the prices of the records at the show, and I kind of felt like there was a lot of things priced a little higher than they should be. There were some good records there. There was clearly a Dusty in Memphis, Shotgun Willie, a lot of great jazz, primarily on Liberty, a lot of Jimmy Smith. But it was all priced a bit high for me, and after a few hours of pouring through the crates, I decided to split. That said, I had a great time. There was a lot of my buddies there, and we were having a good time discussing records. But I got in the car and decided to hit my normal track, and I am glad that I did. That's right, coming in hot. That's the Way of the World. Earth, Wind & Fire. Now, I know what you're thinking. This isn't a rare record or whatever, but this is a very clean copy of the record. It's on what I call a 360 Columbia. Yeah, that's right. This is a 70s pressing when the record came out, right? Iconic cover. Shining Stars on here. That's the Way of the World follows it up. Those 2 songs right there alone justify the purchase of this record for guess how much? $5. This is a fantastic sounding record. Maurice and Verdine White are killing on this. The bass virtuosity that is in these Earth, Wind & Fire records is fantastic. If you're a bass player, you have to get these. If you appreciate the bass guitar, you have to get these records. This is, out of all the Earth, Wind & Fire records, you should start with this one, or possibly the greatest hits. Can't go wrong. This is fantastic. Glad I found it. $5. Down at Better Days here in Louisville, Kentucky. Continuing my search, though, I ran across this little minty operator, The Moods of Marvin Gaye on Motown. That's right. Look, this is a near mint 80s repress of the record. I paid $5 for it. It was so clean, I couldn't leave it there, sitting in the crate, just collecting dust. I had to have it. There were 6 singles off this record. Let's see, what was the big one on here? I'll Be Doggone, I believe, which Marvin and Smokey Robinson wrote together. You got the Funk Brothers on this. You know what that means. Again, with the bass guitar, Jamerson is on here. He's probably in the studio laying on his back after a long night of drinking and just laying out these tremendous bass lines. By the way, we are getting so close to the What's Going On anniversary reissue. April 1st. Don't slip. Get the records from the tapes. They're treating it right. So I was in an undisclosed location. That's right. And I decided to take a chance and roll on over there. I found some good things there in the past, including some Bob Dylan bootlegs and some other great blues and jazz records. There's a little box. It's labeled New Arrivals. And as I was walking up, I could see Muddy Waters live at Newport, an OG. And I was thinking, ooh, yeah, let's go. And it was $35, and it was a little rough. I kind of just left it there, and I'm going to think on that for a while. But right behind it was this record for $15. Son House, father of folk blues, right? Now, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I have the Analog Productions copy of this record. That said, you do not ever see it in the wild. Any pressings of this record, you do not. This is a early 70s Columbia pressing of the record. The wax is mint, and there was no way I was leaving it there. Would I have rather it been a 2-eye mono? Of course, but it's not. It's it's this. That said, this is fantastic. It's probably a $40 record, so I snatched this up with the quickness. Son House, very close to the source. Very close. Son House is one of the Herculean figures in the blues, right? There's a few people that are on the level of a Son House. You can see him here on the front with this probably national guitar, dobro, if you will. Kind of in a Colonel Sanders type tie. I like that. But you know what was right behind that? Yeah. This. Robert Johnson, king of the Delta blues singers. Now let's get into this. Robert Johnson is truly the king of Delta blues singers. Everything that you hear in the blues genre is linked to Robert Johnson. His tree of influence is so great, and the depth. I mean, everyone from Dylan, Clapton, to Hendrix, and on and on. Every time you hear anybody play any of those typical blues licks, and what I mean is, hold on. Anytime you hear somebody go, anything like that, that's all Robert Johnson stuff. Anytime you hear some dude at a blues jam go, I lost my baby. Okay, that's the parody of Robert Johnson. Now, speaking of that, there's a lot of conjecture about these recordings. A lot of people feel like they are slightly sped up. Possibly. I think some songs for sure, like Hellhound on My Trail, sounds a little bit like there's some issues with the tape speed. That said, it's not like it's going to change the whole timbre of his voice. It's going to pretty much remain sounding like Robert Johnson. This particular record, right, the King of the Delta Blues Singers, has most of the very popular Robert Johnson songs on it, like Crossroads, Terraplane Blues, Dust My Broom, Hellhound on My Trail, Walking Blues, Preaching Blues, stuff like that. By the way, you will also find versions of Preaching Blues on this record. Yeah, that's right. Robert Johnson's influence, it was relevant at the time that these songs came out on 78, which is what this is. This is a collection of his tunes that were on 78 RPM records. And this is also Columbia label. The wax on this is almost perfect. It was $5. I had to have it. Love this cover. This is not an accurate depiction of Robert Johnson. That said, really cool. Just a little footnote here. If you look on the cover here of Bringing It All Back Home, you can see the record right here. Yeah, that's right. Dylan was loving Robert Johnson. As a matter of fact, he is one of the individuals responsible for bringing Robert Johnson to the masses in the early 60s. This is a fantastic record. If you see Robert Johnson records, just get them. There's another one. It's volume 2, and he's like in a room sitting. You need these records. Have you ever been to the Crossroads? Because I have. There's nothing there now. I can't imagine what it looked like then. That said, please like, subscribe, leave some comments down below. And until we meet again, that's right, folks. Bob out. And Robert Johnson's mythology about him going to the Crossroads and selling his soul. We all know about this. And we've all seen it. He went down there. He had to duel with a big white boy by the name of Jack Butler. It was rough.